This video really isn't easy to make. This is genuinely a topic I am very conflicted on, but as a channel that makes a lot of Doctor Who content, it's something that I thought would be an interesting discussion and something that I want my thoughts out there on, and maybe me putting the camera on will help me decide how I feel about it. So you should have seen, hopefully, if you have eyes, the title and thumbnail of this video is about the big rumours that David Tennant is returning as the 14th Doctor. Now, the rumour going round is that no, it isn't just David Tennant is coming back from the 60th. The 13th Doctor will literally regenerate into the 14th Doctor as David Tennant. So this is a new incarnation, but with the same actor. David Tennant will do some specials and a series just to get Russel T Davies moving, and then will regenerate into the 15th Doctor quite quickly. Usually I wouldn't think twice about these sort of rumours. I remember when Peter Capaldi was announced it was regenerating, and Matt Smith, so from 11th, and Matt Smith was going to return as the 13th Doctor. That was a big rumour. But this one has a little bit more substantial weight to this. Because the evidence for the Matt Smith one back in the day was just Matt Smith says he regrets leaving so early and wished he'd done another series. And yeah, that isn't evidence, that's just quotes from an interview. Like, well in, good reporting, lads. And while the evidence for this rumour isn't fantastic, it's that it's been leaked by people who have leaked correct things before. So just for some credentials on the scooper, this is the same person that revealed that Sacha Dhawan was going to be the Master. Now, on the one hand, this idea would be fantastic. Like, if I'm honest, if any of the Whovian community is going to support it, it would be me. I grew up watching Russel T Davies' Doctor Who, and I especially grew up watching David Tennant Russel T Davies. Like, Series 4 of Doctor Who will never be beaten for me, because it's one of those things that no matter how good Doctor Who ever gets, nostalgia will always drive me to love how fantastic Series 4 is on every level. Trust me, if this news is built for any fan to get back on board, I am that fan, and that's kind of why it worries me that I'm conflicted. Because I think the show should move forward. I know the 50th does set up ideas of, you know, eventually the Doctor will go back and revisit a few selves. Eventually. Eventually. AKA, the show itself should never do it. Eventually the show will die and you can imagine that the Doctor, you know, goes on and on and on and eventually regenerates into the Curator / Tom Baker. I just think the show needs to move forward, and I don't think it needs to win back fans because, as I've discussed previously, Doctor Who doesn't necessarily need saving from a commercial standpoint. Doctor Who makes money, and Doctor Who will run for as long as it continues to make money, and that isn't stopping for a while. But for a fan perspective, I want to see Russell just have a proper new stamp on this era. Because Russel T Davies is 100% a different writer now. And yes, I'd like things to slightly return back to the way I loved in my, you know, heyday of Doctor Who. But I still want him to try new things. Like, if I'm honest, as a writer, he has gotten better. The things he has been writing overall have gotten better in quality. Yeah, I do want that to come back to Doctor Who. And freshening up the cast is a big thing of that. There are so many actors I think would love to play this role and would be so good at it that it would almost feel like robbing the legacy of the show of another actor to have their chance. If you were to tell me that David Tennant is coming back in a massive way for the 60th, if you were to tell me that David Tennant is one of the leads in the 60th, if you were to tell me David was getting his own one-off story, just David Tennant comes back filming, is just another filmed story, just slotting his legacy, I'd say fantastic, I'd say brilliant. The show going forward, I don't think so. It's weird. However much I genuinely think I would love these episodes, if it's what I've always dreamed of, Russel T Davies and David Tennant coming back to Doctor Who. But I think for the good of the show as a whole, I don't think it's the right choice. Especially because a lot of fans of the show aren't as clouded by David Tennant nostalgia as I am. There are a lot of already frustrated fans that would feel like this is a complete 5 steps back for the show. There are some fans that don't even want Russel T Davies to come back, which for me, I find astonishing. But for those fans, that's their experience with Doctor Who, and Doctor Who should always be about the collective experience of the fans. It's a fan-driven show. So yeah, overall I've come to the conclusion that this probably shouldn't happen. Having said all that, would I put money on this happening? No. As I discussed, the leak is probably the most credible Doctor Who actor returning as the incumbent Doctor has ever been, to my knowledge. This is the most credible the rumour has ever got. Is it actually happening? No, it's not happening. I think Russel T Davies understands that it's probably not good for the show going forward to just do what he did previously. Also, I'm not sure he'd want to. I'm not sure what would interest him about, because if he wanted to continue writing those types of stories, he would have just stuck around for Series 5. I just don't feel like that's what he wants to do with the show. And scratch that, let's think about David Tennant. I know he loves the show, and I am pretty sure that he would turn up to the 60th if asked, and I really fucking want him to. But his career at the moment, like whatever you say, he is getting role after role after role, doing roles that interest him. You know, he's that. If you look at upcoming David Tennant projects, things that haven't even begun filming yet, he's got a long list of things he has signed up to do. And not only will he probably not have time to do like multiple Doctor Who stories, but I don't think he'd want to go back to that period of his life for such a long time. This video could age really poorly, and I think my opinion, maybe it could change if it's announced, because again, I'm really confused. On the one hand, I absolutely love the idea of David Tennant and Russel T Davies back in the TARDIS. On the other hand, for the show as a whole, I'm not sure. This is a video with comments. Like, please, like, comment your thoughts. Let's have some decent discussions, hash it out. Apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.